You did that almost immediately after I said go this time. Like, there was no space.
I didn't want... Surprise attack. No lead in.
You didn't want me going, please, no, don't do it this time.
You can't escape the improv brass section, all right? It just gets
is that what it is? It's fucking free-form jazz, only badly mumbled.
Absolutely. That's it.
God fucking damn it.
Love it. Welcome to NULLSCORE, a podcast where two scruffy-looking Aussies sit down and talk some mad shit about games for an hour. This is my co-host, Jimmy Barnes. What's it like being responsible for a decent chunk of the shitty karaoke heard in pubs across the country?
Oh, no. Jimmy Barnes.
We had to come up with something, right? Like, we always do these intro jokes. We say that once. Yeah.
I've heard people badly singing along with Working Class Men, and then going, it's just such a fucking classic Aussie rock song. It's like, well, no. It was
right
written...
now, it's like a bird being beaten to death.
It was written, but I'm pretty sure it was written by the keyboard player for Journey, who is, an American guy, an American band, and it makes references to Uncle Sam and stuff. That should be a fucking bit of a tip. That's not about Australians at all. It's about returning Vietnam vets, I think. Classic Aussie rock song, mate. With Aussie nothing to do with Australia at all.
So this week I've actually gone with, I would almost say it's a favourable comparison. A lot of the times we tend to use that as an opportunity to rip on each other.
Usually I use it to rip on you, yeah. I think you've made a few comparisons where I was like, okay, well, I mean, that guy seems pretty cool and successful, so whatever. And then I'm comparing you to fucking Hide the Pain Harold. And
I don't mind.
What was my one last week? Fucking Harold Faltermeyer. Well, he's pretty successful. I mean, he made that piece of music that everyone fucking knows.
What else we got? We got... I just did the doc one. I didn't even do it. This is my... I tried to get you to say Henry Cavill when I wrote your one for you.
Yep.
There was a Jack Sparrow, Grant Denyer, Jason Momoa.
Oh, Grant Denyer.
Hectic Habib. Jiminy Cricket. Harvey Dent. John Bones Jones.
You tried to use Bones twice.
Yes.
Until I reminded you've used that before. And you did I? Shit.
Jamila Jamil, Yugi Moto, Saul Goodman. I haven't read any of these in a long time. Jean Claude. Oh God. And then there's that big. We have this script document. We have like a Google Drive, Google Doc, where we write down all of the things that we want to talk about each week, and usually, God damn. We can fit it onto like one page. Like we can generally get all of our dot points and then, we kind of flesh it out as we go. But there's one part like halfway up where it's just like 4 pages. And it's prepping for Red Ops.
Oh, dude, you went fucking overboard. You were just like copy pasting huge chunks out of articles online. And I was thinking like, why don't you just put a link to the article? We could all click on it and just follow it.
Yeah, that's how I do case research. I take the important stuff and put it in there because, like, you and Red Ops were both very good Tarkov guys. You played the game a lot, so you knew what you knew, like community opinions. And
I think you were in a lull. You weren't playing it as much at the time.
Yeah, so I needed to sort of catch myself back up.
Mm-hmm.
And then at one point we were just calling ourselves different names: Harriet, Harry McClary, Harold. And then, and then really early on, Jeffrey. God, look at these early bloody script stuff. This is fantastic. We are okay. So we have like there's a line here about stuff we want to talk about in Banhammer, and it says Australia is a hoax, flat earthers, trolls, and then down below it says follow up on K98's K strap, and I was like, oh, dude,
yeah, that guy.
That was a good one. If you guys haven't heard the saga of the K98 K-strap, absolutely go and watch those episodes. I think it's like episode 2 and 3.
I think I found it in the very first one.
Yeah. it's a
But
good meme.
it dragged out across like 3 or 4 episodes before the guy said that he found what it ended up happening. He found a reproduction one.
Yeah, he found like a new one, and he was like,
It was a brand new reproduction, but wasn't a proper. It was like one made in India or something. But he wanted more. He wanted like some silly amount of money, and I had a look online, and it was like the same that I could just buy one myself, brand new.
oh yeah, exactly.
The exact same thing.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, this ruins the whole thing, and it's not as scuffed as the other one. That was the whole reason I wanted it, because it was fucked.
Yeah, and it didn't even have like any of the components. It was just like a strip of leather.
It was missing. Was missing a clip off one end, which should have held it on to. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you guys want to go watch those earlier episodes that we talk about the Car 98K strap, it's like Gumtree garbage. We did that section. We haven't done it in a long time. Not to say that it won't come back, but there's only so much garbage on Gumtree at any one time. So,
Well, a lot of what's been happening is I've saved ads here and there on Gumtree and Facebook Marketplace. So I thought they were funny, and I found them during the week, and then I checked them before the podcast, and they're gone. They're taken down. They're really on top of getting rid of fake ads or like joke ads and shit, because they
wow,
because it's obviously no one's going to go buy a nibbled on chicken wing like we saw a few episodes back, but I guess
slightly
it does take
used.
up it does take up server space for them, so I can see why they would be like, well, we don't have room for like 1,000 pictures of fucking just this bullshit. Some guy who'd made a cardboard box Postman Pat van on a fucking a go-kart frame. That was one of the best ones I saw. But
that's pretty awesome.
Right down to he had like a plush black and white cat that he had stuck in there. Like, But yeah, that ad was only there for like a week. It was ages ago now. It's hard to I have to, if I want to joke about these on stream, I kind of have to screenshot everything and save it all, because if I don't, the ad just disappears.
Yeah, because the people will take it down or stuff. And I think it's very much an experience for the video watchers as well, because you get to see all of this beautiful stuff. Like the washing machine in the middle of the bathroom. Man, if you guys watch that on YouTube, you're in for a treat. That was incredible.
It was horrible.
Just straight up in the center of the bathroom. Fantastic stuff.
Well,
so
it's one of those things. It's like, it's fucking horrible, but when you look at the layout of the place, it's like, well, there's no other way they could have done that, because the power was like at the opposite end of the room from where they needed to hook up the hose to the tap in the bath. So the only way to reach both of those things was to have the fucking washing machine dead center of the room. But I mean, fuck, that would have to be so fucking depressing to have to deal with that.
It's like that Spider-Man meme where he's up the front of the train. Have you seen that? And he's got like both of his like web slingers out either side, and it's they'll like caption it like my last strand of patience in finals week or something like that.
Trying to hold the train back.
Yes. Yeah. I've imagined that Spider-Man's the washing machine in that one, but good old Sam Raimi's Spider-Man's. But lots of stuff happening this week, kind of like overflow from last week, as far as stuff that we can talk about that's like recent content creator streamer news. There was, of course, a really big one where we had this Pokimane apology video come out. Lots of different stuff in there. A lot of different community reactions to that, as to be expected. Which is, I want to talk about that in a little bit later, because there's a couple of things that came out of that are really, really interesting. There was a horrible ad campaign by Burger King, or I should say an ad campaign that received a terrible reception from the Twitch community. It was run by an ad agency for Burger King, and we'll talk about that in a second. It's pissed off a lot of Twitch streamers. Tim the Tapman and Fall Guys. Fall Guys, of course, absolutely crushing it on Twitter, and had a bit of a back and forth with Tim. Been absolutely hilarious. And the Doc as well, crushing it on YouTube now that he's still gone from Twitch. And in case you forgot, because everyone kind of let it go, considering that he's back now, we still don't know why he was banned from Twitch.
No, but it sounds like there's going to be some sort of fucking legal action happening in some way or another.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, we talked about this before. There has to be money involved. There has to be
yeah,
big
of course,
money
dude.
involved for both people. Yeah. Yeah. So we'll have to have a look at it. Do you want to kick off with this big hitter, this Pokemon apology, or do you want to kick off with one of the Burger King or the Tim the Tap Man? I'm gonna leave this one in your hands, Jim. I'll hand you the steering wheel.
Well,
Where are we going? It's kind of like
I think
the
Burger King thing.
The Burger
Jesus
King
take
thing?
the wheel.
Yeah, I was about
Jesus take the wheel.
Scuff Jesus, take the wheel. Yeah.
Let's go Burger King, dude.
All right, Burger King. So they hired a company. I'm just going to have a look at it very quickly, see if I can find it. But what they did was they brought in an ad agency to advertise their new ad campaign thing, right? And it was basically the idea was they were like, hey, you can get a burger for friggin' like $5-6, or you can get a meal for $5-6, whatever, right? It's fast food marketing, okay? It's not that complicated, okay? An agency called Ogilvy ran this campaign. They called it the King of Stream, which, by the way, great start, guys. Not over the top at all. The client was Burger King, and then the team, which, by the way, was a team of 20 people, including professionals that have worked in marketing for years, came up with the campaign to basically donate to bigger Twitch streamers with messages that would be, hey, did you know for the price of this donation, you can get a burger nugget combo from Burger King, right? Now, because a lot of those bigger streamers tend to have text-to-speech on, because that's how you incentivize donations, is when you've got a bigger stream, people like to have their donation pop up and everybody hear their little opinion because, that's how humans work. And basically Burger King has used it to advertise their stuff. Now, they did this for a couple of weeks, put a bunch of people in the video. Now, when people found out, like the streamers that had these donations sent in, they were furious. They were very, very, very angry. The reason why is because Burger King had basically circumvented ordinary procedure for, working with sponsorships and brand deals with streamers. So by using the donation text-to-speech option where they would be able to donate $5 and have this read out in front of, 1,000 to 10,000, 5,000 people, whatever, they basically just completely skipped over the fact that ordinarily this sort of thing is done, agreed in beforehand, and is usually costs them much more money. Yeah. Big backlash on Twitter about this. My opinion on the whole thing kind of... I don't know whether they actually wanted it to go down particularly well. I'm willing to bet that Burger King is happy with the fact that people are grumpy about this. Because now that the video is being shared and spread around and everywhere, people are going to learn about the fact that there are, $5 burger nugget combos available at Burger King. Like, it's kind of the most of what advertising is just getting that information out there.
Yeah, it definitely gets their name out there. But the thing is, Burger King... They're not a small little unknown corner shop,
No, they're not.
In
it's
3
not
suburbs
Jim's
away.
Burgers, yeah.
They're nationwide over there. The other part of that is now there's going to be probably a lot of people who have, just a pretty bad taste in their mouth over Burger King's now.
From the Burger King
Now-
$6 burger combo.
I mean, I'm sure you can understand that it's not only that they circumvented like normal procedure, however the fuck these streamers want it to happen. Yeah, if you're going to promote your stuff on my stream to my hundreds or thousands of viewers, you're going to have to pay for that.
Yeah, send an email. The Times.
It's not just that. It's that they used this footage and they blurred out the faces of the streamers and they didn't put their names or anything, So there's no credit given at all to any of these streamers that they have used to promote their product.
So they've done them over twice.
Have you seen the ad? I've seen the ad.
I've seen the ad, yeah. And they do this really
You didn't notice that? All the
I
faces
watched
are
it.
blurred out. They all look like fucking EC from Liftoff, mate. They've got no fucking face. It's
ridiculous.
horrifying.
You know the worst part about it was, and like maybe it's just because I've been making YouTube vids and Twitch stuff for like a year now, but the way that they did the like font bullshit when they explained how everything worked, I hated it. I absolutely hated it. Like they had this shadow come down off of the text down and to the left, and it was sort of like the Twitch way that the text pops out. Yeah.
Yep.
But it was done in reverse. So the shadow would come from the text down to the left. And I remember watching that and just being angry. It annoyed me so much. I couldn't focus on the other streamers like talking about burgers and stuff. I was just... Some bloke who's probably been in graphic design for longer than me has spent a long time sorting this out. I watched it immediately. I was pissed off.
You sound like my dad the first time that he tried to use a touch phone. He's like, I don't like this. It's like, well, there's nothing. Why? There's nothing wrong with it. I just don't like it.
I don't
know why. I just don't.
Yeah. And maybe it's a personal preference thing, but that's the part that I took away the most of it. I was like, I don't know about this. I don't know about the way that they've animated this text, but whoever's done that has arguably got years on years on years more experience than I do. So
Yeah.
there's not a whole lot of shit that I could talk.
Well, it could be the same thing that you were talking about earlier, that maybe it wasn't meant to be aesthetically pleasing to look at. It was just meant to leave an impression. It was meant to make you have feel some sort of way, and it definitely did. It made you feel angry.
It did. It made me feel angry. That's exactly right. Yeah, and I mean, experience doesn't always result in a higher quality product. Oh, I could say that for a fact. I've been doing law for 2 years, and there are still days where I do a clerk level job. But oh man, just that the text was the most frustrating part. Yeah. Anyway, we saw a whole bunch of reactions from creators. Weast was probably the funniest. Did you see that?
No.
Weast is a very, very meme-centric channel. He's a fantastic creator. And he found out about the ad live on stream. So there's a reaction of him figuring out, and he goes, wait. This is an ad? He's like, I thought it was a meme. Somebody did this to me 2 weeks ago. You owe me money. So it was interesting practice from a big company. And now it's come back with a pretty volatile reaction.
Yeah.
From the community.
Well, that's what I mean. Like anyone who's...
Do you think we're going to see more of this? Do you think we're going to see this sort of stuff again? Or do you reckon it'll be like
probably.
a teaching moment?
But I think you will see a little bit more of it, but also I think they'll change the way that they do it. Like they'll probably do sort of the same thing again, but afterwards maybe reach out to the streamer and ask them if it's okay to use the footage while also giving credit to them.
Mm-hmm.
Because if their response is funny enough and it's a fucking Burger King ad, like you'd be kind of silly to say no to it. Because you might, if your response was good enough, it was funny and entertaining, and then your name and face is there on that ad that people, fucking hundreds of thousands of people are going to see who don't know who you are potentially. They might come check your stream out for more of the same, the same sort of humor.
Mm.
But I think the way they did it, especially with blocking out sort of any identifiers for the streamer, it's only that people recognize their voices or whatever, or their backdrops, shit like that. People will recognize them still, but
you spend
only through...
hours. You spend hours in streams. Like this sort of stuff is not, it's not as if it's a fleeting glimpse. Like if you blurred out half the doc stream, I'd still know it's the doc stream.
You'd still know who it is, but that's only because we already know who he is. For people who don't, like just everyday fucking people, they're not going to know who the fuck that guy is. And if they've blurred out his name and his face, makes it hard to figure out, hard to find them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So I think, you'll probably see more of the same, but not quite the same. I think that was probably the biggest misstep they made. Like it's kind of a grey area to begin with.
Well, see, there's another company, and I completely forgot about this.
Well, hang on a sec. Actually, hang on a sec. Let me put it this way.
Yeah.
So they've donated to a streamer $3 to $5, whatever, it doesn't matter. And then essentially what they're doing is clipping their response.
Yes.
So they're using a clip from their channel.
Yep.
Isn't that their content? Are they allowed to now use that clip of their stream in promotional material?
Yeah.
Are they?
I see. That's the interesting part.
I don't know if you're allowed to do that.
Well,
that seems illegal.
Surely surely fair use legislation must come into it somehow. DMCA stuff.
Fair use is for transformative content, though, isn't it? Like when it comes to that sort of thing, if you're going to use someone else's piece of their YouTube video or their stream or whatever, it has to be for commentary. This is not commentary. This is hey, check out our burgers, check out our prices, guys. This is an advertisement.
I'd have to have a look at it. I'm not an expert on DMCA.
Doesn't seem right. Maybe that's why they blurred their faces out, because they're like, well, as long as nobody knows who it is, it's fine.
I'm better than most because I understand how copyrights are broken down. I'm not entirely certain how fair use operates in the US and the rest of the world generally.
Yeah.
Insofar as its implementation in something like an ad as opposed to a YouTube video, because the fair use is very much a common sense piece of legislation. The problem is not everyone has common sense. That's why you have big fights about it. But I don't know. I'd have to have a look at it because advertising might be a section in and of itself.
The other thing is, I don't know why I didn't think of this before I spoke, but the exposure that this has brought them still might have been cheaper to deal with the fucking aftermath if they do, end up in legal trouble. Might have been cheaper than trying to pay all these streamers, like a bunch of big streamers, to get their name, and less effective because it wouldn't have caused as much of a stir. It would have been like, great, Summit's promoting Burger King, cool.
That's if they're willing to go to the point of a suit with it.
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter. At this point, it's already out there. It's already reached that many fucking people that even if they get told to take it down or whatever, it's too late. It doesn't matter. They've still accomplished what they wanted to, which was people know that they have these fucking deals.
Exactly. We can't tell. The irony of the situation is I can't remember what the deals were exactly. All I know is that they had food for what they thought was cheap. Then again,
hey, you bunch of fat bastards, we got cheap shit food here. Come buy some fucking slop. You want
yeah. Now, of course, I forgot to mention it earlier as well. There's one other company that's attempted something similar. Have you heard about Cash App donating subs?
No.
So Cash App is a cash transfer platform, a little bit like Venmo. I don't know if you know what Venmo is, but basically it's designed to send money between mates. Cash App is a huge sponsor for 100 Thieves, which still like to position themselves as an esports organization, although realistically they're more of a merch organization, given the fact that none of their teams can win a fucking game. They were donating 100 subs to streamers just with the name Cash App.
Jesus.
So again, this kind of like crowbarring in advertisements through alternate methods than the ordinary. I kind of have to praise them for their creativity, but by the same token, from a streamer's perspective, that's very, very shady, very low class, as Co-Carnage put it. Because not only do you yes, it's a direct donation to that streamer, and 100 subs is better than fucking $5, but half of that still goes to Twitch. If you're a Twitch partner, 40% of that
maybe
goes
you
to
get
Twitch.
a bit more.
Yeah, but it all depends. The interesting thing about Twitch is, and they're not supposed to tell this to everybody, but the top tier partners, I think, end up getting like 75% of their sub revenue, or like 66%. Yeah. So they have a much greater share, which you have to remember when we're talking about the top end, these are differences of like $8-9 grand a month.
Yeah. Thousands
across
of
multiple
subs,
streamers. Yeah. That's costing Twitch, like millions of dollars just to get that better revenue cut to make the top end more comfortable. But that's like, I'm not complaining about that. I'm just saying that's
it's also a bigger incentive for them to stay on their platform and also, put more effort into the stream because they're earning more money from it. So then Twitch earns more money. Like it kind of works. Yeah. It works in the favor of both sides.
Yeah. If there's money to be made on both sides, it's one of the companies will do it fast and effectively. That's just there's things you need to understand. Is just money turns these companies around. So if you want them to do anything, go for the wallet. Now, moving away from the Burger King ad campaign and the disaster that was, we had...
Disaster that was.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm going to
pretty bad.
springboard here into a little bit... we're going to keep the meaty topics going, all right?
Okay.
Pokimane
Yeah.
recently went on, or is on, a break from streaming. Said she'd been live streaming for 6-7 years. She'd never taken a holiday, so she's taking a month off. The idea was that she would reconnect with family and friends, and she wouldn't be streaming in the meantime. Haha, joke's on you, still making content. This piece of content in particular was your classic YouTube apology video. Highlights include her addressing the hashtag Pokimane boyfriend situation, a apology to Gundam, which was long awaited from that community, and then 30 minutes of filler. So if you would love to watch that video, I would highly recommend that you just find a Clips channel that cuts it down, gives you the TLDR. Sure as shit, that's what I did. Because as much as I respect her for making an attempt at something like this, because the fact of the matter is apology videos are a bit cringy nowadays. If you make one, you're very much signing yourself up to a negative community reaction and people making memes out of you crying. She didn't cry in the video either. Props to her for that. That's overdone cliche. I appreciate that. But it's just a lot. And I think with these sort of videos, they always say, I wanted it to come from the heart, which for every ordinary person translates roughly to, I'm going to ramble about non-poignant emotional crap alongside the stuff that I need to apologize for. In any event, right, you watch the video, it takes forever, you can cut it down. First thing off the docket, there was an apology to Gundam. Have you seen that part?
No.
I
didn't watch it, dude. I saw that it exists and I was like, immediately I just thought this is going to be like every other apology video by one of those major creators that's just got their head so far up their own ass they haven't seen, sunlight in 10 years. They have no idea what's happening in the real world around them. It's going to be just, guys, I'm so sorry I let you down. And that's it. There's no actual apology for no acknowledgement of wrongdoing. Usually, they don't admit to doing the wrong thing ever. Or if they do, they go, I'm sorry I did this. But, and then they give all these reasons why it was okay that they did that thing. No. You're doing it wrong.
My favorite, the Caterino approach, I was lost and confused. I didn't know
what I was doing. You're an adult.
I didn't know what I was doing. I was lost and confused.
Fucking take responsibility for your actions.
Yeah, exactly. You get a map. Get unlost. Get unconfused. Pokimane made an apology to Gundam. For those of you that aren't clued in, a while back, there was a video made by Gundam on a Twitter post. Twitter post was a bloke saying how he was going to sleep at the back of a Starbucks because he couldn't pay his rent so that he could donate the rest of his money to Pokimane. The joke was on this whole tier 3 sub simp idea that these e-girls are, out here with their, bedazzled scythe farming simps. They're out here, separating the wheat from the chaff, taking their wallets from them. And he reacted to that tweet, made a whole heap of fun about it. Pokimane took the position that it was very clearly a troll. She was like, this is so clearly a joke. Why would you take this serious? And then she commented on the fact as to why on earth is this video sponsored, and said that if this person ever approached her for a sponsorship, she would say no. That company being Ridge Wallet.
Well, what she also did was say that it was a video that calls her a thought for 20 minutes or whatever. She didn't even watch the video.
Yeah, that's the thing as well, right? So she has apologized, and the way that she did it, I think, it's pretty good, right? Now, you have to remember, my job is I'm a criminal defense lawyer, okay? Weekly, I have people that admit to things and then I have to offer items in mitigation, right? I am a professional in defense and apologies.
Yeah.
My guy gets up, very remorseful, Your Honor, going to counseling, going to such and such, right? So what she did is she said, look, I kind of stand by the idea that I don't believe that video should have been sponsored, right? And to a certain extent, she's right. Ordinarily, content that attacks other creators with this like beef drama sort of stuff, it's usually not brand friendly, right?
It didn't attack her though.
Okay, it didn't attack her, but from an outside perspective, right? If we're talking at like a first impressions, usually those videos aren't sort of sponsored, right? Yeah. So she's sort of correct in that realm, right? She might have miscategorized the video, but she's correct in saying that, you know, shitty drama attack videos are usually not sponsored. Gundam's he's definitely a comedian, right? That's his kind of thing, is he makes light of a situation like this and it's entertaining content, right? Yeah. It's not simply ripping on another person for the sake of ripping on them and creating drama. Now, she then goes on to say, despite that fact, and despite any issues she should have for the video, she shouldn't have specifically gone after the sponsor. She shouldn't have mentioned the sponsor in a public manner. Mm-hmm. And I think that was really quite good. I think if she had gone to say, oh man, I wish I hadn't done any of this, or I wish I hadn't said anything I didn't mean in anything, I'm so sorry, I don't think people would have believed her. But she specifically says, look, calling out the sponsor bit, shouldn't have done that. I don't think anybody should be doing that, right? And that's interesting. I think that's really, really cool that she's come around and done that after all. Because I know you're a pretty avid, you're a fan of Gundam stuff. I've watched a couple of it. Like, I have to take it in small doses though, because man, he goes quick. Like, he's hard and fast in every video he produces, and it's good content. It's just I need to like. It's kind of like he's like a straight shot of whiskey.
Yeah, which is exactly what I like. I gotta think about it for a second.
I gotta drink water. You know what I'm saying? So very, very cool to see that sort of stuff.
I just want to throw something in there. She said she thinks that the video attacking someone shouldn't be sponsored. That's fair enough. She failed to acknowledge that the video didn't attack her. It was making fun of a guy who is looking like a simp, which was a joke. And he even says sometimes in the video that like this has to be a joke. This can't be real. I'm pretty sure I said that even when we first talked about this, like the first time we talked about this. Anyway, saying now, months later, I shouldn't have gone after his sponsors. You're a fucking day late and $1 short. It's too late. Damage has already been done. And not only to him, now other people went and did the same shit. They saw how effective that was in silencing your critic. And they're doing the same thing to their critics. You started this wave of bullshit. You're apologizing for it months later? It's fucking worthless to me. Like, that's too late. It's way too late. You can't fix what you did.
Exactly. Well, I mean, that's it's just this idea. Once one person gets the ball rolling, it's out of control. That's it.
Yeah, look what you did. Yeah, look what you fucking did.
And I tell you, look, I mean, I'm gonna grab onto this and launch into one of the smoothest segues you've ever seen. Speaking of getting the ball rolling, a long time ago, iDubbbz made a video called Content Cop, and then after that, H3H3 made Content Nuke on Keemstar, and then Leafy is here, made a dramatic return to the scene. Now, I'm just going to take a second to open up Leafy's channel here because I'm not the best at arithmetic. Okay, I was very much a humanities kind of guy throughout uni. That's why I ended up doing. Oh God, I can't find Leafy's channel. I'm literally searching for it. I've just searched Leafy is here. Pokemon, maybe. I can't find Leafy's YouTube channel. Am I? Is it gone or something?
It's not gone, is it? Could be.
Surely not.
I don't know, dude. I don't watch him, so.
Content Nuke Pokemon. Reacts to content Pokemon by Leafy is here. Content Nuke Leafy is here. I can't find his channel. Can search Leafy is here. Can you find it? Has he been banned whilst we're on podcast? What is going on?
What the fuck, dude? Yeah, no, I can't find him.
What? Leafy. Okay, Leafy. Here we go.
I'm just gonna search Leafy.
I'm just gonna check Twitter. Content Stone Age Pokemon.
22
Videos
minutes ago, a
unavailable.
video. Leafy just got terminated.
The YouTube account associated with the video has been terminated. Leafy got yeeted.
Holy shit, dude.
Holy shit.
That's happened in the last 24 hours or so then. Maybe a little bit longer. Last day or two.
August 21st, new video, 1 hour, Content Stone Age.
Breaking news.
Holy what? What?
I wasn't
insane.
expecting that.
Yeah, so Leafy's...
Okay.
Okay, for context, Leafy has been producing video after video on the Pokemon situation. I think he's up to like 11 or 12 videos, right? Or he was up to 11 or 12 videos. His channel's been terminated. That's insane. I can't believe that happened on stream. Oh, no, on stream, podcast. That's cooked.
I mean, it didn't happen on here. It's just that we've just found it because it's very recent.
He tweeted 3 hours ago. It seems to not acknowledge the situation that... Oh, here we go. So Sive, YouTube's been terminated 32 minutes ago. That's the earliest I could see that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, his tweet is like PewDiePie is racist or something like that. Which is just ridiculous.
The fuck?
Yeah, so he doesn't acknowledge the fact that his YouTube channel has just been completely yeeted. 404 not found. Oh my god. He's been smited.
He's been deplatformed.
There you go. We don't know if that's I mean, his content was very plainly against the bloody
terms of service in some cases,
service.
yeah.
Yeah,
in a lot of cases, maybe. Most cases, would you say?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, if you've ever watched his stuff, like I think he fancies himself a comedian, but he's literally just salty.
Just a
Like
bully,
Gundam,
really.
Yeah, Gundam does a much better job. Even iDubbbz manages to be funny while he's doing the bullying, and his content cops got yeeted. So
my fucking coffee's gone cold, man.
Hey,
my fucking coffee's gone cold. I had a sip, and it's depressing and cold now.
Speaking of coffee.
Yeah. Do you want a cup of coffee that runs through you so fast you need to bail on the end of your podcast to go paint the porcelain throne brown?
Somebody actually commented that on stream. They were like, "Hey, I listened to the last NULLSCORE podcast, and they just like killer coffee shits."
Yeah.
I had people come in. Well, do you want a cup of coffee that's like drinking pure lightning?
That's funny. You should see the background I have. It's very relevant to what you just said. Do you want a cup of coffee so good you'll snatch the box out of the shocked and possibly scared Australia Post worker delivering it to you? That happened yesterday.
Oh my gosh. You were just like,
delivered the box. I was like, yeah, I fucking yoinked it out of her hand. Poor chick.
Do you want a cup of coffee with the power to let you play League and be non-toxic simultaneously?
Hang on, let's not make any outrageous claims about what this coffee can do.
Let's not promise anything we can't deliver on. Well, Killer Coffee may or may not be able to do some of those things, but it's a damn good cup of coffee, and they still don't sponsor us. Probably because we do absolutely no marketing for this podcast.
Yeah, next to none. That's going to change soon, though. I've got some stuff in place.
Ooh,
be some clips and bits and pieces coming in. So yeah, I've got some. I've got a bunch of notes. I'm ready to go through and make some clips. It's probably going to be the same like semi-scuffed style that I did the others in.
Yeah, I think ituld be good.
One's nearly ready to go out already. I've just got to cut all the others. I hope I still have all the original footage. That's the other thing. I need to find a way to stash all the original footage, because if we ever need to go back and grab stuff, I don't want to have to. I really need to be able to separate all the audio tracks and video and stuff. So I can't just rely on the original, the final version of the podcast where everything's just all meshed together. I need that original footage. So I'm going to have to pay for more storage, I think.
The drive's got that. where you should be able to grab it. Anyway, I feel like that's a conversation for off podcast. The point is, segue, Tim the Tapman Fall Guys.
Segue. Okay.
Yeah. So more recently, a game has taken the world by storm. A new battle royale game, James, by the way.
Is that what it is?
It is, absolutely. It's a battle royale, and it's basically 60 people go in, one man comes out, or woman at the end comes out, or just like an amorphic jelly bean character, right?
Reminds me of Gang Beasts and Human Fall Flat. Those kind of
very, very much. It's basically a knockout style tournament of Mario Party minigames. So, don't fall down off the platforms that disappear under your feet. Get to the end of the obstacle course. It has a very Wipeout feel to it, like Japanese game show feel. Very, very cool. It's honestly just pure fun. Like, if you play that game with your mates, crushing a couple of bevs, you're going to have a great time. It's fantastic. And the game is so...
Or you'll walk away with no friends, one way or the other.
Or walk away with no friends, yeah. I think Among Us is the kind of game that like tears friendships apart. I feel like that one definitely you can cooperate and sort of, get up there, do really well. The beauty about it as well is it's so simple. There is one stick for moving your character. You control... I think you can control the camera with your other stick, and then it's jump, dive, and grab. That's it. That's the controls. And very, very simple. Great game. Really, really good fun. Excellent party game. Now, a lot of the big streamers have been playing it because it blew up on Twitch. And the Fall Guys Twitter account is top tier. Whoever runs that shit is a genius. The guy behind that. He's just constantly bringing in W's, right? And basically, Tim the Tapman, one of the biggest streamers on the platform, was having trouble getting his first win, or crown, as they say. And so the Fall Guys Twitter account responded by relentlessly trolling him.
Yeah, I saw it. It was just constant.
It was like twice a day for a week. They would post a tweet and they'd be like, "Oh man, check out these two folders I have on my desktop." And one is like memes when Tim wins and it's empty. It's like memes when Tim loses. It's full of memes. It's so good. They even had a rep, and it basically turned out to this whole thing where it was like everyone was, rooting for Tim to get a win in Fall Guys. And it actually got to the point where like people were like stream sniping him or hacking in his games to try and prevent him from winning. And they had a rep from Fall Guys watching his stream and banning hackers live to try and assist him to get the win. And it was fantastic. It was a really, really cool stream to watch. I have to have a look at what his stats were because I think he peaked at some insane number playing the game. It was like 180k maybe. Had close to 5.6k new subscribers in the crown winning stream. 1.2 million unique viewers. Holy moly.
That's nuts, dude.
I just want a crown in Fall Guys. Blah, blah, blah. Here we go. Fall Guys Twitter, @Tim the Tapman. Hey, Tim, we just ranked all of our players by how well they're doing, and I just thought you'd like to know you actually aren't in last place. There's one other account that's done worse than you, but it's actually a developer account that we use for testing AFK. Oh, Jesus. Here you go. So Tim put up a tweet. It was a 6.5 hour stream. He had close to 80k unique people chatting in stream. He had almost 1.3 million unique viewers. He had 1.295 million.
Jesus.
5.5k new subscriptions, 80,000 roughly new followers. His max viewers was 347,321. Concurrent viewers peaked at 347,000 people.
That's ridiculous.
With an average on a 6.5 hour stream of 182,500.
Yeah. That's fucking nuts.
That is nuts. It's crazy to see. Like, and you know what? When we look at that against the Burger King campaign, how much better? How much better is
way
that?
better, dude. So much better. Just interact with the people.
That's the thing. And what's weird about it is the Burger King ad was like kind of had this like supposed to be friendly aura about it, but left a really like horrible taste in people's mouth.
Yeah,
like, it was
it
like
wasn't
kind of
really
shady.
though. Like,
whereas Fall Guys was like banter. It was like like taking the piss out of Tim, but realistically, both of those accounts benefited ridiculously. Mm-hmm. Like, can you imagine being a video game like developer and your ad campaign is bullying one of the top content creators on Twitch into playing your game until they win? Just
perpetually roasting this one streamer who can't get a win.
Insane. And they've had these fantastic like Twitter posts where they basically, because the character design is so simple, for those of you that haven't seen, the Fall Guys characters are like these almost like jelly bean shaped characters with different costumes that they have from different games, and people are creating like fan art of like Fall Guys costumes that they want to see in the game, and the account will just retweet them. So it's got incredible community reaction, incredible community engagement. Oh wow, some guy's already got a Fall Guys tattoo. I just seen that in the Twitter feed. A guy has literally got a Fall Guys tattoo.
Oh, why would you do that to yourself?
Twitch themselves even produced a video where it was Tim's win. It says a moment fit for a king. So like the actual Twitch platform did it. Then there's the infographic from when he had the stream. I'm trying to find where they did this other thing that Fall Guys did, which is the brands competing for a charity donation to have their skin in the game. Have you seen that?
No.
So
no, I haven't been paying attention to that stuff.
Another thing. So these guys are crushing it. Again, this is how you handle brand marketing in like an internet gaming space. They had, excuse me, a bunch of tweets from brands to like, you know, cross-promote themselves. So what they did is they said, okay, we're going to donate to this charity. I forget what the name of it is, but it helps disabled gamers. That's its whole thing. It's a UK-based charity. I had a look at it. It seems pretty cool. And the highest donation pledge will get a skin in the game. So they'll put their brand skin in and people will be able to buy it. And people like Ninja, 100 Thieves have been competing for it. Mr. Beast was in there. My favorite one was a bidet company. A bidet company has been donating to try and get their costume into the game. I want to have a look. Oh, yeah, here we go. So Tushy Bidets put up a donation for $40K. I think they came back later on and said that they wanted it in the game. But they literally just have a Fall Guy with a T-shirt that says, "Ask me about my butthole." And so the Fall Guys company's gone, "Oh God, no. A bidet company's now winning with this design. Help us." So it's very, very top meme. Would recommend. I think it's hilarious. So yeah, Fall Guys Twitter. If you're out there, man, love what you're doing. Super cool stuff. Burger King, whoever the fuck you hired or should have fired by now, get those guys. Get those guys to do your
Get those, yeah.
Yeah.
I think the Fall Guys, it seems like it's internal. Like it's all...
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think they just had a social media rep. He literally did a post where he was like, "Yeah, I've got a really cool Twitter post lined up for you guys. You're going to love it." And it was just a lowercase f. That's all it was. And he hyped it up with like 3 posts showing the scheduled post stats. He's like, yeah. This tweet's going to pop off. It's going to be insane. You guys are going to love this. And then he tweeted out the F, right? And then people loved it. It got like 100,000 likes or something like that. Something stupid. Because everyone was like, it's the tweet. Like the guy he just knows what he's doing. He had one where he was like, "Oh yeah, 1 million retweets on this tweet and we'll delete the yellow team." Just like a
Yeah, I saw
fundamental
that.
concept. And it got like 100,000 retweets or something stupid like that. It's just nuts. It's just nuts to see. So really, really cool from the Fall Guys. Wait, man, we need a Twitter guy like that for NULLSCORE. We need somebody to do marketing for us. I think if there was like a Fiverr gig out there where it was just like, I will be the marketing social media strategy guy, I would hire a dude like that. Maybe just like for a month, see what he can do. Or she.
I think with that kind of thing, it'd be hard because they'd have to be a bit more in tune with what, like our sense of humor, our typical. They'd have to sort of know our content a bit. I think if you just went and hired somebody from Fiverr, they wouldn't really. Yeah, but that's a lot of like you got to pay them for that time to go through and watch all your shit. Like,
yeah, so you'd need to have them for longer than a month, probably.
Yep.
Which is kind of the trick in the situation, right? Is that's where the risk's involved.
Yeah, you'd be paying them for this time that they're putting into watching your content, and then they start to run these tweets by you and saying like, hey, like you'd have to approve stuff. You'd have to be like, yeah, that's good, or no, that sucks. That's not us at all.
Yeah,
they just give you a bunch of like, you know, here's what I've got lined up right now. It's just a bunch of like Trump tweets. You're like, oh god.
Oh good.
Oh no.
Great. Thanks. I love this.
Thanks for your work so far. We'll
no
longer be needing your services.
Yeah, it's going to be this follow for follow idea. I hear it's red hot.
Oh, okay. Oh, good.
Thanks.
It's that garbage again.
We love that. Big fans. Yeah, I don't know. See, that's part of one of the things I've got to do with my content at the moment. I've been watching. So more recently, I've been floating around a couple of other streams, mainly because. Like you tend to stream the same times that I am usually streaming. And then other people I've usually watched in the past, like Ling. Ling starts streaming at 10 p.m. now.
Yeah. I've seen him on a couple times really late. Yeah, it's...
I'm usually winding down for the night at 10 p.m. I got shit to do in the morning. I can't...
I mean, a couple of times I've seen him like start streaming late, but then he cuts his stream off really fucking short. Like he seems to be really prone to just... Something will go wrong or something upsets him and he just ends his stream immediately. Like he can't deal with like issues and sort of stress like that. It just crumbles immediately.
Tell you what, Ling, anyway, if you want to come on the podcast, say hello, we'll have a chat about it. It'd be good.
Come and explain yourself. What the fuck's your problem, Ling?
But so I've been watching this other guy, Fake Hero. Haven't known him for very long, but very, very cool guy. All the interactions I've had with him have been really good. He's a very pleasant person to deal with, right? And he's one of these blokes that is very good at knowing what he wants to do for like social media growth. Like he wants to get in there and network and climb and go up in the results, but he's not an asshole about it. Yeah? Like, you ever get those situations where people will contact you purely for the purpose of a collab and you get the feeling that they're just trying to leech from you?
Yeah.
All my interactions with him, I've never had a situation like that.
Like the t-shirt company thing.
Like the t-shirt company, I spoke to him recently because he's absolutely crushing it on YouTube. He's uploading daily-ish. He's getting up there in the algorithm. He's gaining in subs. He's doing a really good job. And he's basically, at the moment, he's waking up or staying up until about 2 in the evening every day to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
So what I mean by that is Runeterra, which is the game that he plays. It's League of Legends' answer to Hearthstone. It's a card game. Releases their patches at 2 or 3 in the morning, right? Because it's American time and for Australians, it's quite late.
Yep.
He's getting uploads about those patches up like an hour after they go. So he's one of the first, to pop up in the results.
Yep.
And he's doing a really, really good job. That's the sort of stuff I feel like I'm going to have to start doing with my content somehow. I don't think I'm going to create those same types of videos because I just simply can't. I can't afford to be awake at 2 in the morning, right? Yeah. But I want to try and find a way to create some form of content that is better for discovery, right? There's this idea that YouTube's better for discovery, and then you use that to funnel people back to your Twitch channel. I absolutely believe that's correct.
Yep.
But it's tricky to get up there in the search results. Mainly because I'm so picky about my content, I don't like doing ordinary shit.
Yeah.
I don't like uploading standard highlight, intro, explanation, gameplay, outro videos. Because, you know,
well, I mean, what you're talking about, patch notes videos. So there's a few, I'm not going to name any names because I don't want to feel as though I'm calling them out or anything, but there's a few content creators that I really like who do patch note videos like the inside of a couple hours of a patch being dropped or the notes being released. They'll run through everything, sort of give their thoughts on it a little bit, but mostly they just run through like, here's all the changes, here's how the game's going to be affected. Yeah, that's cool and everything. Like they're kind of breaking down stuff that you might care about and ignoring shit that most people won't. And then they'll give, you know, some thoughts on how it's going to change things, which is interesting to hear. But realistically, those videos are low effort. Because
they don't take a lot to do. Yeah.
They're not having to do anything creative with it. They're just reading a list. Like, yep, here's all the stuff, guys. All right, see you next time. Like, subscribe. Fucking, you know, it's not difficult to do.
Okay, hang on. I'm going to put a caveat here and say that it's not difficult creatively, but
it's difficult to get it out quickly.
Yes, to get that video out correctly, that's usually work, right?
Yeah.
Like you have to be on the ball. Sometimes you've got to be awake at weird times. You have to be prompt to it. You need to know. Like I
feel like once the guys have been doing it for a little while though, they more or less have like some sort of workflow, like a chart or a fucking template that they use, and they just do that every time. So that cuts a lot of that time down. It's just swapping out the content itself for the next lot of content. Here's my key points that I need to talk about for these patch notes. Here's like some thoughts. I'm just going to put some notes down here. All right, record the video, give it a quick fucking snip up, a bit of a trim, edit, and then push it to YouTube. Publish immediately as soon as it's ready.
I think the consequence of doing that sort of thing is that the video is very much the same no matter who it's from. Which I think, look, it's not necessarily a bad thing, and there's absolutely a need for that. Like people want to look for those videos. Yeah. And maybe it's just my stupid pride getting in the way. Right? But I think I would rather make videos different to that. There is a guy that I look at and I think is like, I've watched him for years and he doesn't make videos anymore. He ended up getting a job at Riot and he hasn't made a whole heap of videos since. But he's a guy called the Peace Pigeon. I don't know if you've ever heard me talk about him before.
No.
His League edits are phenomenal. Like from an effort perspective, insane. Like he'll 3D motion track text above a download of a League game that he got externally so he can operate the camera and manipulate it in the way that he wants to move it. Yeah? So he'll record voice lines and gameplay from the game, but then he'll go and get the replay, sync up the voice recordings to the replay, and then he can manipulate the camera and the replay however he wants. So he can create like really cinematic engagements. Like you imagine Tarkov gameplay where, you know, you're running through the forest and then it cuts to some scav or something on top of a rock, scoping in on you, taking a shot, it whizzing past your head, you taking cover and then returning fire. Mm-hmm. Like that sort of knowledge and engagement, very, very different to just having a straight up gameplay. And it's good. It's really, really good. If I could make videos like the Peace Pigeon makes videos, I'd be a happy man. I just don't have to.
We're getting a little bit away from this though. Like, so what you're saying is you want content that's more, strike while the iron's hot. It's fresh. Like, there's not enough of it out there right now. There's only how many people have made the patch notes. You want to do something along that lines that's like very relevant and new at the time, but also you don't just want to be another. All right, guys, let's read these patch notes out together. Yay!
I don't want to be patch notes, Andy. And again, that's not like, I mean, fake. If you listen to this, which
there's nothing wrong with that.
You're probably working. There's nothing wrong with that, right? It's just not my thing.
Dude, I
I've
still
gotta
watch
find a
Tweak's
thing.
fucking patch note things on Tarkov. I don't really play Tarkov at the moment because there's too much head eyes going on. But
Too much head eyes.
I still
Go watch that episode
listen.
if you don't know that joke.
I still watch his patch notes videos. I did watch the Pestilli ones, but I got sick of all his oh man, the spelling mistakes. Holy shit! Like he doesn't know how anything's spelled.
Into it.
Let's just fucking crack straight into crack, I think is what he's doing. Anyway, Tweak. I just find Tweak's stuff better. It's just better put together. Anyway, that kind of video is fine to make, but it's just doesn't unless you're big enough. I just think it doesn't matter. There's no reason for me, or even I would say maybe even you, unless you think that you have something to add on these patch notes that nobody else, like a unique perspective on the patch notes. That's the only way that would be worth doing for you.
Yeah.
So I don't think you do because you. You say that, but I think every now and then you pick up on stuff, like even in Tarkov, you pick up on things that nobody else in our group had really considered or noticed. So you might be unique enough when it comes to patch notes and how this one change is going to affect 20 other things. You might be able to get away with that.
Because X, Y, Z, Q, P, and then W.
You're pretty familiar with the game as it is. So you'll definitely have something to say that people will care about. Even if it starts small with the current audience you've got, it'll get passed around. Patch notes might not be a terrible thing for you to do, but I mean, staying up till 2 or 3 a.m. to get the new patch, go over the patch notes, and then make a video and then push it out before you go to do lawyer things in the morning might not be the best idea.
And it wouldn't even be good content either. You'd have me, because one of the things that I'm terrible
We'd have
for
you
is
at nearly your worst.
I say a lot when I'm tired. I say a lot. I was listening to one of the past podcasts the other day, and I try to do this once every month, 2 months, just to check in on how I'm talking, making sure. One of the things the other thing that I do that's terrible is I sometimes talk over you. So I have to
you do that a lot.
Watch myself. Yeah, I know.
It doesn't matter.
So I have to watch myself with that and how much I say and that's just self-analysis and reflection. That's something that I think anybody could do. You don't just have to have a podcast to do that sort of stuff.
I just put that down to me looking like such a scumbag, and because you're used to dealing with clients who probably look not too far off what I do. You're used to having to talk over them because they're not listening, and you're like, look, I'm trying to stop you from going to jail. Shut up and listen. So
I was talking to a colleague the other day about this, and when I in the morning, there I go again. In the morning, when I am finishing my coffee, that's usually when I'm at my grumpiest. So before the caffeine kicks in, but as I'm trying to get through this thing that I know will make me feel better. Yeah, that's when I'm at my grumpiest. And I'm usually kind of short sometimes with people that deal with me. I've had clients before where I've told them, hey, I need you to get character references or something like that, so that when you eventually get sentenced, the magistrate knows that you're not, 100% just an idiot. Right? Maybe you really had a hard time recently,
Yep.
A very common one, unfortunately, is that someone close to them has died or there's been some sort of tragedy, and that leads them to spiral, and their inability to cope will lead them to substance abuse, which then leads to offending. Yeah? Very, very common scenario. So usually I need character references to say, hey, this guy's ordinarily pretty good. He's reliable on job. He turns up the same time every day. He's done it for 3-4 years. More recently, he's been very sporadic, though, ever since blah, blah, blah day, right? And magistrates will take that into account, yeah? But some people just won't bring him in. I'll tell them, and they'll just forget. They won't do it. Yeah. And I'll they'll walk up to me and say, hey, man, what's going on with my matters today? Are we getting it done? I go, did you get that character reference? And then they'll be like, oh, no, I've forgotten. I was like, I don't care why you didn't or did not get it. All I know is that I don't have it. So either we get you sentenced today and you go to jail, or you tell me that you need an adjournment and you're going to get it today.
Yeah.
I had one of my colleagues come up and go, are you like this with all your clients? I'm like, no. It's
just the idiots.
He didn't do the thing that I didn't do, and I haven't finished my coffee. And they sort of said to me, they're like, man, you're lucky you kind of have broad shoulders, hey? And she's right. Like, some of these clients are probably, they probably are violent under stress.
Yeah. Yeah.
And meanwhile, I'm here shit talking them because I haven't finished a coffee.
Well, I mean, look, any that have a couple of fucking active brain cells though that's very straightforward. That's very blunt to the point. So yeah, it might piss them off, but also you've basically just said to them, like, if you don't get this thing, you're going to jail. There's nothing I can do about it. So go get the thing or go to jail. You're the one who has to spend time in there, not me.
I know you dropped out in grade 9, but that maths is okay with you. I know you can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. This
isn't difficult to understand.
Yeah. I'm usually very, very forgiving person. I'm usually very, very good with clients, and a lot of the time it's because they're unsophisticated, right? So, sometimes they just don't know. Like, you know what the procedure is for getting your birth certificate?
Yes, I had to do it recently.
Yeah. It's a bit of a pain in the ass, yeah?
Yep.
So here's the thing. A lot of people just don't know how to do that, right? People that have, been through school through years 10 to 12, right? Usually what they'll do is they'll go, oh, I need a birth certificate. What's the first thing that you do if you don't know how to get a birth certificate?
And look it up on the internet.
Yeah, you Google it. Yeah, you just Google it. And then you figure it out. And it would say, oh, go to the registry, right? Mm-hmm. Because the courthouse registry will be able to help you. That sort of ability to know where to look to get information, that kind of comes with education as well. The idea of being able to go and find stuff, that can kind of help. Like when you go through these formative years, getting that to work, that sort of procedure is kind of ingrained. A lot of these people, they're just so disadvantaged, they just don't know, and they think it's far beyond them. They have no idea what to do, so they just don't do it.
That's what I was about to say. They just go, well, I don't know how to do it, so I'll just ignore it and it will go away.
Well, that's kind of the thing. And sometimes you sort of think to yourself, well, why didn't you just look it up? Like, why didn't you just figure it out on Google? And a lot of the time, it just doesn't occur to these people because it's just not something that they do in daily life. Because they're kind of resigned to the same thing, day in, day out. Or they've got other priorities, like eating.
Do you know how many times I've had that conversation with people about car stuff?
Yep.
Yeah. I couldn't take it to the mechanic. We don't need to. Just have a look online. Stick your head under the car. Yep. You got fucking eyeballs that work, don't you? Stick your head under the car. It sounds like there's something scraping against the ground. Well, fucking have a look and see if some part of your car is dangling out from where it shouldn't be and touching the fucking ground.
If that's the case, you may be able to simply put it back.
Take a picture. If you don't know what to take a picture and put it on fucking Facebook. I guarantee you, someone on your fucking friends list, if they don't know themselves, they probably know someone who can say, yeah, your fucking exhaust is hanging off and dragging against the ground while you're driving. You can fix that with a coat hanger.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can't remember exactly where we started with this, but that's a thing that happens.
People, it was information. People looking for information.
Yeah.
It was your work. It was your coffee. Your coffee. It started with you being grumpy in the mornings and being short with people.
Oh yeah, and if I was to do patch notes videos, it would just be being grumpy and saying
it'd be so much worse.
A lot. That's all it would be. It wouldn't be any of my funny edits or double entendres or anything like that. It would just be me going, yeah, like this, like, and it like does like thing like. That would be the video.
See, I think the audience that seems to enjoy my bullshit the most is definitely the American audience. But I can't really target because of my job that I have to work so that I can have money to keep doing this and other things like, eating food to survive and putting fuel in my ute and fixing my ute when something breaks. I have to go do my job, which means that the time that all those Americans are awake and watching people on Twitch, I'm at work. I'm not here doing anything. So I see what you mean. It's kind of a timing thing. Timing's a problem. If you can do content creation in Australia, you have to
target an audience, and sometimes that audience is overseas.
Yeah, and the guys who do well with it quite often start from a position, I think, where they either have work hours that are outside of ordinary, 9 to 5-ish sort of thing. Like, I'm not 9 to 5, I'm like 7 till 3 or something is my normal hours, but still, it's close enough that it may as well be 9 to 5. People who work like night shifts and shit that can stream during the day, they usually do a bit better. Or guys like Red, who was, his leg was fucked for ages, so he was basically at home, couldn't do anything, so started streaming.
Yeah,
kept at it, did it consistently enough, put videos out here and there, was very active in the community. It took off eventually. I think
eventually you got there.
Yeah, I think what you're saying, being up at 2 or 3 a.m, it's a good way to get noticed. But also it's not compatible with most people's everyday life.
That's it. Yeah. It's part of the reason why this sort of thing is so hard, but you do what you can. In any event, about time we should read comments wrap up.
Yeah, probably. It's dragging on a little bit long here.
We've got a lot to talk about today. There's a lot of things that need to be said.
Yeah, I guess.
Episode 25. Tomato, 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 tomato. However you want to pronounce it. Eyehole Man says, "Don't worry, guys. I'm back. Had a hectic couple of weeks, couple of health issues, and a new baby on the way, etc. Grats, Eyehole Man. Talking about the Intel versus AMD thing, I go Intel every time. Core speed is more important to me. Also, you can use the iGPU to run your second monitor instead of your GPU running both your monitors. And it's also good for rendering with Adobe Premiere, as the quick sync option speeds up the rendering process. That to me is enough of a performance boost to warrant the price. That and brand loyalty." Now,
I like how he went through all these good reasons why, and then the last line he just goes, "Plus I'm a fanboy."
Plus I'm a fanboy. Now, you've come back to him. The official NULLSCORE account has come back, and I know I didn't write this comment. So it says,
it's pretty much always me. It's pretty much always me, yeah.
Yeah, so he's usually the one in the comments. I'm more often than not asleep or doing my own thing. Says, "I've mentioned before I chucked a Ryzen 2600 in the stream rig. I've been really surprised with it and had no issues. The GPU thing is understandable, but like you said, you can work around it. I still wouldn't touch one of their graphics cards though. I like my cards not to cook under load." Nihol's come back and he says, "Yeah, agreed. They also always have BIOS issues. Sometimes years later they do a BIOS update that increases their performance by 5 to 15%.
Years later they do a BIOS update that actually makes the cards stable." But yeah, I don't know. I've owned AMD cards before years ago, and they didn't live very long. And from what I've seen from the newer ones, like they go all right sometimes. Sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes you get a fucking dud, and it seems to be more common in AMD cards than it is the NVIDIA stuff. So just gonna keep buying NVIDIA cards for now. Crazy's got a fucking novel here.
Well, even better. Have you seen the replies?
To himself? Yes.
Yeah.
I just thought, look, Crazy, keep doing this because this is good. I like this.
Yeah. Do you kick this off, man, or I'll read this one as well?
Let's go in between. So I'll do the first one. Right. The time model for costing to stream. Storage capacity is minimal. You can get 12 terabyte drives now for fairly cheap compared to what they used to be. Yeah, compared to what they used to be. But they still aren't cheap. Like comparative to their old prices, sure. They're still not cheap, Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if they're cheap, Crazy, do you want to donate one to us so that we can put all our footage on? The reason being, iTunes, Spotify, and so on do not host any files. They stream it from your host provider. So if you upload something that is 20 minutes, that is 20 minutes guaranteed that someone will be using bandwidth from their connection. That is the only way I could justify it anyway. That being said, though, it all depends on how they stream it. Whether it downloads a cached version, I do not actually know. However, that would be my initial guess. Okay, but we weren't talking about Spotify and that. We were talking about our host provider, which is Buzzsprout.
Yeah.
That's why I thought it was so strange, because they are hosting the files, but they're going off like time, like minutes, rather than space, which is what we're using from them.
We're also a very niche case. Like we don't have a crazy amount of downloads like some of the bigger podcasts. I know a lot of podcasts have like thousands upon thousands of downloads.
Yeah.
Which
is probably not a huge deal for them, really. As for whether you could do it yourself, I mean, you can get in an RSS URL for free. However, you still need to host it, which means you need to have something akin to either an FTP server or some form of cloud storage that would support it, which can be done from home. However, you would then open your network up to security risks if you didn't manage it properly. Then you would also be fucked if your internet goes down unless you have a backup connection. So this ties into something that I've spoken to you about it. I'd rather talk to you about it off podcast, I think, but I would have had something like that set up. If that whole office thing that I showed you before, that's exactly what he's talking about, is exactly what I wanted to have. Like it wasn't just meant to be an office where we all sit around, play games for a bit, dick around, and then go home. It was meant to be like full blown, this is the goal, this is what I want to do. I know most of this shit already. I know how difficult it can be, but I had sussed out pretty much everything that I needed to make it work.
Yeah.
I'd done all the fucking legwork. The other guys were just there to basically help it along and also benefit from it, I guess. Anyway, what's his last line here? There's a reason it is slightly expensive to do. I know it is, because if you want it guaranteed, you need to be prepared for all the time and effort you would need to put in to maintain it. I'd done all the prep, basically, and I had a bunch of the equipment. I had stuff that I didn't have. I had lined up ready to go. But I can see why it's not for a lot of people, because it is a lot of fucking time and effort into not just setting it up, but maintaining it. Once it is set up, it still needs like attention. Pretty often to stop it from failing.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, these next bits yours.
The way you pronounce pasty vis is the thing that cover your nipples. Pasties are patches that cover a person's nipples and areola, typically affixed with adhesive.
See, I told you were wrong. I told you were wrong. Remember when I said to you, there's a wrong answer to this, and you went, nah. Oh man, that story, this good old 50 Cent.
Good old 50 Cent. Mm-hmm. That's a classic. If you guys haven't heard that story,
I'm gonna put the picture to the fucking. So I made the joke in the Discord of I think I just said Kellogg's meth flakes.
That's right, yeah.
And Crazy made that fucking box, the cornflakes box.
So gross.
Did you see though? It says if you look at it closely, I'm gonna put it up on the podcast in the video version, but also there's more details that you'll miss if you don't have a look at it in Discord. If you have a look on the box, underneath where it says meth flakes, the original best, it says Australian made from meth heads. There's also like the skin scabs in the cornflakes, like the fucking...
no.
It's so fucking gross. Fucking hell. So what's his next one? The COD thing.
About the COD thing. It was a discussion between Fatal, you, and I about how multiplayer used to be separated from the story. If you could install multiplayer instead of single player, you'd be able to get rid of all the high-res cutscenes, movie files, etc. Yeah. So this was all about how COD was like...
The file size is ridiculous.
Stupid now. It's like 300 gig.
Is it? I thought it was approaching 200. I didn't think it was over.
Let's see.
Current
Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Do you have it installed? Because you could just check.
200 gig. Nearly 200 gig across all platforms. So I was wrong. I said
it's too much, dude.
Yeah.
It's too much.
It's still fucked.
Think about console players, man, who have like, a 500 gig drive. Do you want to use like almost half your drive, and you only get to use a bit over 400 gig of that or something? Like you don't get the whole 500 gig. That's so stupid. Surely there's ways around that.
Yeah.
Well, for gamers, it doesn't matter too much to not have an onboard GPU. However, I've recently been using the Windows 10 ability to assign GPUs to specific applications. So I have my web browser specifically using the onboard so I can use GPU acceleration while still being able to play a full screen game without stuttering the video on high quality. I didn't think of that. I'm going to have to change how my game rig works now just to get that little bit extra.
That's very cool.
Because this monitor on the right only ever is used for just monitoring garbage. It never plays games. Always the main one.
There you go.
I'm going to have to do that.
So he's talking about this AMD processor that my dad bought, not having an onboard GPU.
Well, it's not just AMDs. Xeons are the same. I've got a Xeon. My old stream rig had an X5650, which had no iGPU. So
there are ways around it. Beep codes, USB to HDMI adapters are external GPU processors able to run externally from GPU onboard GPU. Those are the first two things I could think of to troubleshoot GPU not working. So that's more talking about how I said my dad was troubleshooting stuff. He couldn't find a way. If there were ways to do it, which apparently there are, there you go. There's the memes.
And then Mono, getting banned for no reason. Sounds like the same thing that happened to me in COD. Well, Activision just said, fuck you, we banned you.
Where's Mono's comment? I can't see.
You can't appeal, and we won't say what you did anyway first. Robin Carlson, Mono.
Nice.
He's seems a little bit salty. He also said, by the way, Killer Coffee shits is now a thing. And then he actually he found the timestamp 1:18:40 for reference.
Oh, good. Great. I'm so glad. I'm so glad.
There wasn't really much of an outro because you're like, I'm going to shit my pants if I don't leave right now. So, see ya.
See ya. All right. Well, if you guys want to catch us outside of podcast, you can yell at us on Twitter. At Titan_5150 or at Viserys TV. You can also yell at us live on Twitch, twitch.tv/T1 TAN5150 or twitch.tv/Viserys TV. There's the NULLSCORE podcast is available on YouTube. You just search for NULLSCORE. We've got that beautiful blue and red NS logo. And you can also listen to the podcast on all good audio platforms through our Buzzsprout hosting, which very soon should be up to date.
Very soon.
Anything else before we close it out?
I don't know. Why do you always put me on the spot like that?
It's not like
don't talk to Hamish in the mornings before
week.
he's finished his coffee. Fucking just let him have his coffee. He's not human until...
Yeah. Wait 5 minutes after I throw it in the bin. That's it. Once you see the coffee cup go into the bin, wait 5 minutes, then come talk to me.
Give the caffeine a chance to work.
Yeah, that's it. Anyway, that'll round it out for this week. Thank you guys for listening, and we will catch you next week.
Thanks for watching, guys. See ya.
See ya.
Did I tell you I got in trouble last weekend off Dad? I don't think we've spoken. Yeah, well, got one error. All right, so remember, was it last week that I was fixing my ute? Yeah, I think it was. I did it the Friday afternoon. I was meant to do it Saturday, but I just wanted to get it out of the way, done Friday. So I've been eating, as you know, I'm lactose intolerant, and because I hate myself, I've been eating like yogurt and muesli in the mornings. So,
Okay.
like, from about lunchtime onwards, I just spend the next 5 to 6 hours farting nonstop, and it's really, really fucking bad. It's just horrible. It is putrid, fucking horrible shit. Anyway, so Friday afternoon, I'm like, well, I have to fix my ute. I need to put in new spark plugs. I need to change diff oil. I need to get all these little things, these little maintenance things that have been building up forever and not getting fixed. So my ute runs like shit now. I need to fix them. I'm sick of driving this depressing machine. And the whole time I'm in the shed, we're walking around, and it's an enclosed area. Dad's helping me. We're in each other's space, and I'm just fucking dropping hole constantly. And the first couple of times he was just going, really can't fuck. Like he's annoyed, but he's not saying anything. The third one, he just fucking stared at me. Like the next time I did it, he was gonna fucking shiv me. The fourth or fifth, he's at this point he's going, go for a shit. Just fuck off, go for a shit, go to the fucking toilet. I'm sick of it. Like he was gonna start fucking swinging. He was gonna start throwing punches over farts.
Throwing hands.
Yeah. I didn't stop.
No, I didn't stop. I kept going. I kept unleashing.